All right. Good afternoon. Welcome. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I am with you until probably about 5 o'clock. Probably about 5 o'clock. If you didn't join me earlier on the ride home, I was running late, as you guys can all see. But I was running late, so I went live on my Facebook page. I haven't figured out how to go live on all my pages on my phone. So I'll work on that so that the next time I have to, go live because I'm sitting stopped in traffic. Then everybody can see me, including the YouTube people and all of that kind of stuff. I had it in the car. It was hot in the car. But then when I got out the car, I put it on. I don't mind. I take it off, but I had it on in the car. I took it off in the car because I had the heat on, and then it got too hot. I kind of turned it down. I said I could just take off the hat. Myosha talking about had to throw the Janice hat on. But yeah. LaDonna says she just talked to Stefan at Warsaw Kroger. He's running for state rep. All right. All right. Look, other than, he has some issue with verb conjugation here and there and, pronunciation of some words. Other than that, I got no problem with Stefan. I can't necessarily say I agree with everything that he says, but he's very knowledgeable. Like, y'all can say what y'all want. He's very knowledgeable. Now where he falls, where he takes that knowledge, you may or may not agree with him. And he may not, he may have an issue. How do you say it? Some stuff he knows. And then I think some stuff he assumes based on the stuff that he knows or the stuff that he's heard. And I think if he works on just knowing the facts, now we can both know the same set of facts. But if we can know the same set of facts, but we may not come to the same conclusion based on the same set of facts. I got no problem with Stefan running. No problem. Question becomes, who is he running against? But let me say my hellos. I said some of them in the car, so they're going to be really quick. Anthony, good afternoon. Maria, good afternoon. McConnell, good afternoon again. LaDonna, good afternoon. Myosha, good afternoon. Deborah, represent Forest Park, good afternoon. Brent, good afternoon again. Lamont, good afternoon. Sabrina, good afternoon. Yo Underwood, good afternoon. For those of y'all who didn't hear, apparently this is his birthday. I don't know him personally like that, but I take his word for it. How many people lie about their birthday? You know what I'm saying? The man says it's his birthday. I believe it's his birthday. So say happy birthday to Yo Underwood if you don't mind. Jeannie, good afternoon. I don't know how many signatures you need. Big J, good afternoon. Shahara, good afternoon. Pat, good afternoon. Sean, he's in Jacksonville. All right, good afternoon. Marquetta or Denise Divine. See, now I'm confused. I don't know what she want me to call her. But when I called her Marquetta, she was like, why you didn't call me Denise? When I called her Denise, she was like, you know my name, Marquetta. I'm going to just keep calling you Marquetta because that's how I know you. Sierra, good afternoon. Thanks for hosting safely from home. I was safe in the car. You can drive and talk. You just can't have your phone in your hand. And just like the last time, I had a phone holder. How was that fried bologna sandwich? I'm not sure what that means. Did it have the right amount of burnt and mustard? I didn't have a fried bologna sandwich, but it does have the right amount of burnt and mustard. It's got to be a little burnt for it to be a good fried bologna sandwich. Good afternoon, Jeffrey. Broken Wing. Broken Wing says that display has to go. What display? The one behind me? Out the window? That's a beautiful display. It's lovely. It's lovely. It might be time for the winter display. That was kind of my fall Thanksgiving display. It's a decent day out, so it still works. It still works. When it get to snowing, which I hope we get snow this year. When it get to snowing, then I'll bring out the winter display. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. I think Scott, good afternoon. Sierra says, but you were reading messages while driving. We were stopped. Like stopped. Like going 0 miles an hour. You can read messages. You just got your foot on the brake. You just glance up every once in a while, see how much space, if any space, has occurred between you and the car in front of you. And if some has occurred, you let up off the brake. You ease on up 1 mile an hour, close that distance, put your foot back on the brake. It's perfectly safe. It's perfectly safe. Mayosha says, I haven't had bologna since I was a kid. We know. Oh, Brent's talking about Yvonne's roadside food assistants. Oh, okay. No, I didn't see them out there rolling around. But nobody was broken down. Her roadside food assistance is for people who are broken down. They don't have a way to call like AAA. They don't have a way to call somebody. They just broken down and stranded on the road. They can call her and then she'll bring them a sandwich. It seemed weird because I thought, well, they could call for help if they can call you. But, hey. But I think her service, they just gonna roll up and down the highway, and then people that they see broke down and stranded, they gonna stop and ask them, are you hungry? And then they gonna give them something to eat. So it's slightly, they don't have to call. So they cell phone battery, maybe they'll, bring one of them little portable chargers to charge up the cell phone battery. Or maybe it's a idea that's, with the invent of cell phones, most people can call somebody and say, hey, I'm broke down. Can you come and get me? And I'm hungry. Bring me something to eat. You know what I'm saying? Most people can do that right now on their own. But it's the thought that counts, I guess. See, I wasn't broke down. Again, broke down. You got to be broke down. Brent says, newer vehicles have cameras pointed at you to tell if you're driving distracted. So I don't have no new vehicle. Well, that, and I can't see myself paying money for a new vehicle. One of these days, I'm going to get up into the area. I'm sorry, I keep doing this because I can see an eyelash, but I can't seem to get it, but it keep coming down in my, periphery or whatever. So it's distracting me. See, there it is. It's like right there, but I can't get it. I figure it's got to be loose, but either way. If I recall correctly, didn't y'all keep saying Yvonne, it's Yvonne. She's corrected me a number of times about that. That's how I know. It's Yvonne. Didn't Yvonne's food bologna sandwich cart debut on your show and not Lincoln's show? No, it was definitely Lincoln's show. I was producing the show, but it was definitely Lincoln Ware's show. Use some mascara. No. You still have some glue left from those mink eyelashes you had on over the weekend? I'm not even sure what that means. But all right, that's it. Thank you everyone for joining. Here, I'll put this up here now. I'll put that up now. And good afternoon to everyone. I was talking about on my way in the young people who took some time out and went down and protested in support of Palestine, or at least Palestinian people. And I was saying earlier that I appreciate that. I like that. I love seeing young people, high school age, and even younger, at least thinking about the issues that are going on in the community and in the world. So, yeah, I appreciate that. And thank you, Sierra. I said it on the first live, but some of them people didn't see that one. And I understand that Wyatt lost his mom. She passed, and sending condolences, good vibes, good vibrations, prayers, thoughts, and all of that stuff his way. I don't know if you've ever lost a parent, but it's not easy. It's not easy. And even when you have a complicated relationship, which I'm not saying he does, but even if you have a complicated relationship with a parent and you lose them, it is difficult. Like, it is difficult. And so I just want to, send condolences to Wyatt, to his family. I mean, those daughters that he always talking about lost their grandmama. You know what I'm saying? It's not just Wyatt, it's everybody involved. And so if you are the praying type, send out prayers to Wyatt, to his family, and to everyone connected to his mom, because everybody feels the loss. Some maybe not as deeply as others, but everybody feels it and processes it. So definitely sending out prayers to Wyatt and his family. And also, I think I said it a moment ago, Yo Underwood's birthday today. So send Yo Underwood some love. I think what he said, he's 59 today. So you almost on that milestone. So happy birthday to you. And then let me go back and talk about the kids. If you have young people, if you have young people, did you talk to your young people about everything that was going on in the world? Did you encourage them to be socially active? Like, if they saw something and wanted to protest, if they wanted to walk out of school, would you have said, yeah, do it? Or would you have said, no, don't do that. That's going to affect your grades. You might get suspended. It ain't worth it. Which camp do you fall in? Of course, I fall in the camp of let those kids know what's going on in the world and express how they feel about it. And because I feel like that's what you should do. Let them know, let them express it, and then you fight for them. So if I had a child who said, hey, yo, Dad, I'm going to leave school, go to City Hall, and protest in support of Palestinian people, I would have a talk with him. just to make sure, where they are, what they understand to be happening, and what they want to accomplish, and all of that kind of stuff. So I would have a talk with them, but I would support them 100%. 100%. I would support them. And then I would fight for them. I would be an advocate for my child to not be suspended. I would be, calling the superintendents and the board and going down to school board meetings, talking to the principals, the teachers, everybody. Because I would want my child to want to make the world better. But what would you do? What would you do? Hold on, there was a story that I did want to talk about with regard to this. If this computer will come on. Oh, did we turn you off or something? There is absolutely no. You plugged in. Okay, that computer's not working right now. So let's go here. Now, as y'all saw, I was in the car, so I don't be having time to do show prep like I want to. Anybody? Hold on, let me try to get this thing back. You are there and there. There is no reason for you to not come on. Let me make sure I got the right thing plugged in. There might be a reason for you to not come on. Helps when you plug the right plug in. That is, helpful for those of you who don't know. When you're trying to turn something on, it helps if you have it plugged in. Which I thought I did, but apparently I didn't. Let me read some comments while this little computer boots up. Oh, do I remember this password? Oh, stop it. Stop. Just do what you're supposed to do. What? Come on, is that the right password? Well, it didn't say it's the wrong one, so. All right, there we go. Got the computer up. It's a Google Chromebook. No, I don't want to restore no pages. I want to start fresh. Let's see. Come on, with all these ads. Um, where? All right. Anybody watch? Did anybody, not currently, it's no longer on the air. Did anybody, when it was on, watch The Good Wife? Did anybody watch The Good Wife? Well, if you did, the good wife herself, Juliana Margulies, or however you pronounce her name, I'm sure I'm pronouncing it slightly wrong. She's apologizing now for some comments that she made about the black and the LGBTQ communities. She's apologizing. She says, I'll give you the apology first. She says, I'm horrified. Hold on, let me see if I can put this up on the screen, if y'all can see this. Juliana Margulies, whatever, I'm sorry, I'm butchering her name. Juliana apologizes for comments tying black and LGBT communities to anti-Semitism. She says, I did not intend for my words to sow further division. Hold on, let me hide these articles because I don't want to see those. Emmy winner Juliana Margulies says she is horrified by the reaction to a series of statements she made about black and LGBTQ Americans, largely college students. This is the apology. I'm horrified by the fact that statements I made on recent podcasts offended the black and LGBTQIA plus communities. They got to come up with something better than that. It's getting too long. That I truly love and respect. She says she wants to be 100% clear. Racism, homophobia, sexism, or any prejudice against anyone's personal beliefs or identity that is abhorrent to her. Full stop. Throughout my career, I have worked tirelessly to combat hate of all kind, end anti-Semitism, speak out against terrorist groups like Hamas, and forge a united front against discrimination. I did not intend for my words to sow further division, for which I am sincerely apologetic. So what did she say, you might be wondering? Margulies, who is Jewish, made the controversial comments on The Back Room with Andy Ostray. Never heard of it, but apparently it's a podcast and he gets people on. Well, she railed against support for Palestine. The statements drew major backlash Thursday after audio clips from the interview were posted on X. At one point, Ostray commented that people hate Jews, then briefly talked about the pervasiveness of anti-Semitism in the U.S. and suggested there's more of an uproar over using the wrong pronouns on college campuses. Margulies says, oh my God, forget it. It's those kids who are spewing this anti-Semitic hate that have no idea if they stepped foot in an Islamic country that these people who want us to call them, they, or whatever they want us to call them, it's those people that will be beheaded and their heads played with like a soccer ball on the field. Wow. And that's who they're supporting. Terrorists who don't want women to have their rights. LGBTQ people get executed. She then claimed that a black lesbian club at Columbia University screened a film and put up signs that said no Jews allowed. As someone who plays a lesbian journalist on the morning show, see, now she can talk with authority. Because she plays a lesbian journalist. As someone who plays a lesbian journalist on the morning show, I'm more offended by it as a lesbian than I am as a Jew. But you only play a lesbian. Can you really be offended as a lesbian if you're not a lesbian? But that's beside the point. She says, I want to say to them, you effing idiots, you don't exist. You're even lower than the Jews. A, you're black, and B, you're gay, and you're turning your back against the people who supported you, because Jews, they rally around everybody. Oh. She said Adolf Hitler got his entire playbook from the Jim Crow South. She criticized the black community for not embracing Jews. She says in the civil rights movement, the Jews were the ones that walked side by side with blacks to fight for their rights. The fact that the entire black community isn't standing with us, to me says either they just don't know or they've been brainwashed to hate Jews. And, you know, so on and so forth. Of course, she goes on and on. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? Now, I watched The Good Wife. I didn't know she was Jewish, but I don't really, get into all of that kind of stuff. I know people who hear a name and, they're like, oh, that name is Armenian. And I'll be like, that's a white chick. And they'd be like, no, she's not white. She's Armenian. Like, that's a white chick. No, she's not white. She's Italian. I'd be like, that's white. But, to me, if you look white, you know what I'm saying, and you don't necessarily come out and say, hey, I ain't white, you're kind of passing for white. I don't know a Jewish white person from a non-Jewish white person. A white person look like a white person to me. Is that racist of me? That I don't really care about all of that kind of stuff? I mean, look, I understand that, like, if your last name got Stein in it, you might be Jewish. Stuff like that. I guess I kind of get that. But I just look at him and I'll be like, that's a white person. So, all of that to say, I didn't know she was Jewish. And it didn't matter. But you brainwashed if you don't support Israel and Jewish people in this particular conflict. Or you're brainwashed if you even believe that Palestinian people, deserve like medical care. They shouldn't, like they should have somewhere, if they ever get to go back, somewhere to go back to. Palestinian children shouldn't be murdered. You're brainwashed if you believe that. I don't know. I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people. So I guess I would fit into her stereotype of somebody who's brainwashed. Because I'll tell you, I've seen, pictures and heard tales, read stories of the Jewish community standing with the African American, the black community during the civil rights struggle. But that's kind of all been a story that I've heard. I mean, I believe it. I believe it because I've heard it so much and, seen pictures and heard tales. But in my lifetime, I can't really say that I've seen the Jewish community come out and go hard for black people. I can't say that I've seen that. And maybe I'm wrong. But back in around 2000, 2001, when black people were being killed, unarmed black men were being killed by Cincinnati police, I don't recall, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't recall the Jewish community standing up in the forefront saying, this is wrong. I don't recall that. And that was 22, 23 years ago. So, right, Lonzo, I can't talk about what happened 60 years ago. But I can tell you in my lifetime, I haven't seen it. And I don't know, wouldn't that be like a classic case of resting on your laurels? Wouldn't that be, ladies, y'all tell me, if your husband said, hey, I bought you some flowers 60 years ago, you should be appreciative of me. You're like, well, what have you done for me lately? No, I'm sorry. It's just the Janet Jackson song. But wouldn't that be the question? Hold on, you still think that our relationship is surviving off the flowers that you bought me 60 years ago? What about 20 years ago? What, no flowers? I ain't seen no flowers in at least 24 years. Yeah, but baby, I bought you flowers. Remember in 1963? I was bringing you flowers all the time. That was the 60s, bro. We are back in the roaring 20s, and you talking about what you did in the 60s. That's what and look, I don't think I'm anti-Semitic. I say I don't think I'm anti-Semitic because I don't really 100% know what it means to be anti-Semitic. Apparently, everything is anti-Semitic. According to the Jewish people that I hear talk about anti-Semitism, like literally everything is anti-Semitic. So maybe I am. I don't think I am, but I don't know. I have no animosity towards Jewish people or towards Semitic people. But I don't think saying, like those young people did, we stand with Palestine. And my perception of what they saying is, look, we seeing a lot of propaganda on TV trying to convince us that every Palestinian is some horrible terrorist who over there cutting baby heads off. But I think we've seen, as black people, we've seen enough propaganda stereotyping people to know propaganda when we see it. I mean, did you see the propaganda? You would have believed, what, in the 80s, that every black man was selling crack and the ones that wasn't selling it was using it, and that all of our women was crack holes. I'm sorry, crack whores. We was all thieves and all thugs, and you know what I'm saying? If you believe the propaganda and stereotypes that's put out there. So I think it's very natural. It's very natural for black people to look at this stuff and say, hey, y'all going a little over the top with it. And when you going over the top with it, when you talking about, like she said, hold on, what did she say? She said, see, this part, it was just so over the top for me. It's those kids who are spewing this anti-Semitic hate. They have no idea if they step foot in an Islamic country, those people who want us to call them they and them or whatever they want us to call them, it's those people who will, see, here she's going over the top, who will be the first people beheaded and their heads played with like a soccer ball on the field. And that's who they're supporting, terrorists. See, it's when you go so, like, I'm not even saying that people don't get beheaded in Islamic countries. But she's saying it like, and again, we've heard all of these stereotypes, and it really is one of those things where when you go so far over the top with it, like in Islamic countries, they call it football, I'm sure. They love football, but you know, they have a shortage of football. So the way that they handle that is they find gay people and Christians and Jews and they cut their heads off. And that's what they use to play soccer with, because they're such horrible people. That's my soccer playing. I'm actually doing some fancy footwork under here that you can't see. That's the image that they want you to have of Palestinians. I'm still doing the kicking and the fancy footwork. You can't see it. To y'all, it looked like I'm just swaying back and forth. But if y'all could see my feet, y'all would be like, David Beckham? And I'd be like, no, it's just me. It's just me. But that's what she wants us to think about Palestinians. That's what they do. They cut people's heads off and play with them like soccer balls because, they poor and they terrorists and they're horrible people. And, they need soccer balls because they love football. So that's just what they do. And we see that and we hear that, or at least me. I see that and I hear that. And I'm like, that sounds like propaganda to me. That sounds like propaganda. So you don't want me to be brainwashed to support Palestinians. You want to brainwash me to believe that every Palestinian is a terrorist. That's what you want. Preston says she trying to please those Zionists. In my opinion, she know who butters her bread. But she could have just not said all of that. You can express support for Israel without trying to brainwash everybody else into hating Palestine or Palestinians. She went on to talk about how Adolf Hitler got his entire playbook from the Jim Crow South. And then, so I didn't even see this. She went to, here's what kills me. Those kids are calling Jews colonialists. If you're going to go with that argument, kids, get the F out of America. Anytime you go to that argument, that's because you were not here first. But she's apologized. She's apologized. She didn't intend for her words to sow further division. What did you think you was doing? What did you think you were doing? But that's that. That's that. I didn't know if anybody had saw the story, but I used to like The Good Wife. I'll watch almost anything legal. Almost. I'll watch almost anything legal. A legal comedy, a legal drama. If it's too silly, I can't take it. But I'll watch almost anything legal. So I used to watch The Good Wife. And yeah, now she's on the morning show, which is a show on Apple TV Plus, which means only 12 people saw it. But now she's on the morning show, and she does play a lesbian, which means she can experience what a lesbian experiences because she plays a lesbian. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. People do and say whatever. And then, like you said, Samuel, then they just come back and apologize. Then they just come back. And if you apologize and it sounds sincere, then we okay with it. Like, hey, she apologized. She apologized. Come on. Don't give her such a hard time. She did apologize. Brent says, so isn't she taking a job away from a member of that community? You would think so. You would think so. The way that things seem to be going, when white people get upset that a black person plays a fictional character like a mermaid. So you can only be whatever the character is. So if you're not gay, you can't play a gay character. And I think, wouldn't that mean that if you gay, you can't play a straight character? It never works like that. It never works like that. I know if you black, you can't. If you white, you can't play a black character. If you black, you can't play a white character, right? All right, no, I don't even know the rules no more. I don't know the rules no more. I kind of thought that that was, the whole reason for acting. You're pretending to be something. But, I kind of understand it. I kind of understand it. I know I get mad when British people come over here and play our black historical figures. Other than that, I don't really care about you changing your accent and, like Idris Elba playing a black American. I don't really care about that. I don't really care about that. But if Idris Elba was playing Martin Luther King, first, that would be terrible casting. But I will have a bit of a problem with that. I'll have a bit of a problem with that. When that one chick played Harriet, I still haven't seen that movie because I got a little bit of a problem with it. Especially if you British and you ain't down with black Americans, which some of her comments said that she wasn't. I can't remember her name. It's not that important. But I still haven't watched that movie. I haven't watched, what's the other one? Judas and the Black Messiah. I haven't watched that one either. I'm not watching the foreigners come in and play our historical figures. I sound like one of them, don't I? Those foreigners, but I just, I'm not watching it. They taking jobs away from black people. Yeah, Cynthia. I couldn't support that movie because of some of the stuff she had said. But okay, so that's that. Yeah, when Idris played Stringer Bell in The Wire, even though I didn't watch it until last year. I watched me and Mrs. Livingston binge because she, of course, had watched it. I had never seen a single episode of The Wire. And she was like, you got to watch it. And so we kind of binged the whole series. And he did do a good job. But again, Stringer Bell was not some historical figure. You know what I'm saying? He was a fictional character. You can play a fictional character. I didn't have a problem when he played whatever from Asgard. You know what I'm saying? If you an Asgardian and you got a problem with it, cool. I'm with you. He shouldn't be playing your people. He's British, not Asgardian. But, Asgardian is kind of made up. Yes, I did have a problem with David, whatever his last name, playing MLK in Selma. Yes. I had a problem with it. Absolutely. It's some Martin Luther King looking, better acting African American who could play that role. Now, that one I did watch. I don't really know why. I guess because he hadn't come out, to my knowledge, and said anything negative. And I don't know. I just kind of wanted to watch it. I had a problem with, was it Zoe Saldana playing Nina Simone? Look, if you gotta darken your skin and put on prosthetics and all of that kind of stuff to look black, which is the weirdest thing, and you don't even identify as black. I've read things where Zoe Saldana, unless I was misinterpreting her saying she don't consider herself black. So if you don't consider yourself black, don't play one of our black icons where you got to put on dark makeup and a fake nose. Say, no, I don't want that gig. That sounds reasonable to me. But no, I didn't watch that movie either. If they redo it with somebody who don't have to, because you don't have to look exactly like the person that you playing. You don't. What? Terrence Howard played one of them Jacksons. I don't remember which one he was. But old light skin, green eye or whatever, Terrence Howard played one of the Jacksons. He didn't have to pretend to, what I'm saying, put me on some dark makeup and give me a fake nose until, we all got our nose done, and then y'all can take it off and use my real nose. I didn't have a problem with that. Janice, you're right. He's acting. You don't have to look exactly like the person. Chelsea says he was Jackie. All right. Not Terrence Howard. He did. He played in the Jacksons an American Story. He played apparently Jackie Jackson. Light-skinned, green-eyed Jackie Jackson. And I had no problem with it. No problem with it. Now, I would have had a problem if he just said, all right, give me some dark contacts, paint my face dark brown and give me a prosthetic nose. We got problems now. Jeff says, I don't have a problem with you playing Dave Stinger. I don't play Dave Stinger. Dave Stinger is Dave Stinger. I'm not getting into all of that with you, Jeffrey. I'm not getting into all of that with you. I know who I am. Yeah, Zoe Saldana did that when playing Nina Simone. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I don't support that. Preston says, damn, I don't remember that. Yes. Terrence Howard was one of the Jacksons. Yes. And believe it or not, I watched it and it never took me out of the movie. Like, ain't none of them daggone Jacksons that light. That it never took me out of the movie because it's acting. Like Janice said, it's acting. So, all right, so that's that. That's that. As Lincoln Ware would say, there you have it. Janice says, can Zoe even sing? Well, probably not. Just listening to her talk, there's a good chance that she can't sing. But either way, you don't really have to be able to sing to do this stuff. You just lip sync. They get a singer to do the singing, or they play, tracks from the actual singer. I did not see Flex that Michael Jackson thing where now I saw like little clips of it where they put on the lighter makeup as Michael Jackson lightened, but because that's integral to the story, that's okay. That's okay. Because it's the same actor playing the character whose skin did actually lighten up. I'm okay with that. But I didn't actually see the movie. I just saw like little clips of it. So for that, I'm okay. I did not actually see the movie. I've heard that it was terrible, Daryl. I've heard that it was terrible, but I didn't actually see it. I didn't actually see it. I met Flex Alexander. I worked with Flex Alexander. And Flex Alexander was a nice guy until it came to his wife. He was too protective of Shanice Wilson, or Shanice at the time. He was way too protective. How can you be too protective over your wife? You can't. And he was. But other than that, he was a nice guy. Everything else, he was pretty much a nice guy. One of the other guys said he was very much a diva, but I didn't experience that with him. All my interactions with him he was a straight down to earth brother, and we talked and laughed, all that kind of stuff. But I did not see that movie. I keep trying to move on. What am I trying to move on to? George Santos. All right, here's my question. I know I care about it in the sense that it's a few things that could happen in the next year or so that could kind of turn the balance of power in the House. So George Santos not being in the House, that aspect of it. But other than all of the other stuff, do we care about George Santos? Britt.
Hey, what's going on, E-Man?
How you doing?
I'm all right. Hey, I need some clarification now, what you just said about Flex being overprotective of Shanice. Well, give an example of how he was overprotective.
Well, okay, it was time for Shanice to go out on stage, and Shanice was supposed to start her song upstage center and then walk downstage center. So we placed Shanice on her spot, and she knew where to walk to, but they had to do a couple of announcements before they actually did the announcement, and ladies and gentlemen, Shanice Wilson, or however whoever announced her. So it was just a couple quick things that had to happen. And when I tell you, Flex was very much like, I don't want my wife standing on the stage where everybody looking at her, and then she's just standing there until it's time for her. And he was like 2 inches away from my assistant stage manager's face because he was on the other side of the stage. He was literally jumping up and down like a petulant child in this man's face, hollered and screaming. And a couple of little incidents like that happened. And it was like, bro, like, relax. She's standing there. It's going to be 30 seconds. She's not lit. I'm sure everybody realized who she is, but that's where she started, and she walked down stage. She cool with it. Why are you flipping out? But he was straight flipping. I was like, that's...
Okay. So while she was standing there, Lincoln wasn't in the background, looking like Lincoln. That wasn't happening, was it?
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
But yeah, it was wild. He was just Sierra says that's controlling, not protecting. No, he wasn't trying to tell her what to do. But I really genuinely believe he felt like, I think what he felt like was, she need this big reveal. But even other than that, she's standing there, and in his mind, she looks silly just standing there, and he don't want his wife out there looking silly. So get her off the stage and then let her come on in, some big grand fashion. But he was just a little overprotective, maybe more than a little overprotective of her, as an artist, and he didn't want nobody around her backstage. Like, he didn't mind people coming up to her, hey, how you doing, blah blah blah. But he was like really protective of her. Like, who is that? Oh, what is he doing? Oh, do y'all got enough security back here? And I'm like, Sit down somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I like Shanice, but she ain't the biggest star here. You know what I'm saying? You tripping. So yeah, he was a
Okay.
little, yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't go up there and try to give her hugs, reassuring her that everything's going to be okay.
I didn't try to give her a hug. I did go up there and asked her if she was okay because she was kind of looking at him flipping out, and she did kind of look
Right.
concerned. So I did walk out there and ask her, "You all right? Everything cool?" And she was like, "I just,
Hmm.
I don't know exactly what's going on." And I was like, I got it. Don't worry about it. Just relax." And I went over there and I told him, "They about to introduce her, man. Relax." And he just, I
Hmm.
don't just, she doesn't matter. And I just, calm down, bro. It's all right. It's all good. And, that
Okay.
kind of got everything. But yeah, he was flipping out.
Hmm. All right. All right. Yeah. Just when you said that, I was like, okay, I need more specifics about that. But yeah, the pivot back to what you were talking about with uh, not liking like British black folks to play American black folks in shows. I'm wondering how far that extends to you when it comes to say wrestling. Now, were you upset when not Nikolai Volkov, when the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff played a Russian when he was actually from North Carolina?
No, and I wasn't when Nikita Koloff played a Russian and he was from Minnesota, it didn't bother me either.
Oh, well, what about Akeem the African Dream, formerly known as the One Man Gang?
Uh
Played he was doing his version of Rachel Dolezal.
yeah, that was problematic to me. But
Yeah.
in the silly world of professional wrestling, especially back in the day,
Hmm.
I'm all right with that. And I have to admit, my position on this isn't exceptionally consistent. But in the silly world of wrestling back in the day, I was all right with it. Now, if they did something like that today, Akeem the African Dream, if they did something like that
Right.
today, it would be a problem.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Just like what was his name? Oh, the Ugandan giant Kamala was from Mississippi.
Yes.
So they used to kill me doing stuff like that. Um, but yeah, but do you have Amazon? Yeah, you do have Amazon Prime. I'm gonna have to ask if you have that.
Absolutely.
Did you get a chance to watch Candy Cane Lane that debuted on the first?
No, I saw somebody posted something about that, and then I saw Big Bird was one of the co-stars, and I was like, I don't need to watch a Sesame Street / Eddie Murphy movie, so I'm cool.
Well, I think Little Baby would enjoy that movie. It definitely doesn't play well with my 17-year-old son, and once we started watching it, it's like, oh, we got to keep on watching this to the end because it was funny if you had little kids because they would really light up about it. But yeah, it was crazy. But you had David Allen Greer in there too, and he's always funny. And the oh goodness, what's the short black dude from Saturday Night Live who did he play? He was playing one of the Trumps along with Keenan. I can't even think of the guy's name, but he was funny in it. But yeah, but she didn't play a big role. So if you like Eddie Murphy, and I don't blame Eddie Murphy for making that movie, I think he got a movie deal once he did Coming to America 2 on there too. So,
I don't know that I
but
like Eddie Murphy acting anymore. Not that he's ever been like a great actor,
mhm.
but everything he does just seems so over the top satirical to me. Like he didn't even play in Coming to America. He
Mhm.
didn't even play Hakeem very well. Everything was so over the top with him. I don't I don't I don't care for him all that much.
Mhm. So, yeah, but all right, but yep, but I just calling to mess with you about that. Figure you didn't, but I thought we'd get a good kick out of it.
All right.
All right, hey, you have a good one.
You do the same. All right. Um LaDonna says he was good in Mr. Church. Yeah, I didn't watch that. I came in and Mrs. Livingston was watching it. And so I think I might have saw about 5 minutes of it. I don't really remember what it was about, But she said she liked it. It didn't seem like my kind of movie, so I didn't watch it. But he might have been good in that. I think he might do a decent job in a serious movie, but in a comedy, he just way too over the top now. Like stuff don't seem to flow naturally with him. And I kind of think I agree with Sierra. His heart don't seem like he in it anymore. He just, it's like, oh, I got this acting gig, make some money, and it is what it is. So I don't know. I don't know. You ready for him to do another stand-up movie? Can he do stand-up anymore? I really think and I've said this before, I said it about Kevin Hart. I really think a lot of comedians lose their edge when they get rich. It's like that thing that they say that, why can't I remember his name? Marvin Hagler said, it's hard to stay hungry when you sleeping on silk sheets. Something to that nature. And I think it's something about when you get a whole lot of money and you don't have those everyday experiences anymore to relate to, it's hard to write jokes that everybody else can relate to. Because now your jokes is because a lot of times your jokes is about you to some degree. So your jokes, you rich, your family rich. So all your jokes is like rich people jokes. Mayoshi probably likes them. But all your jokes are like rich people jokes and celebrity jokes. Because that's who you kick it with. You kick it with celebrities and rich people. So I don't know that I want to see him do stand-up comedy. Chris Tucker's stand-up was pretty good. I didn't think so. I remember watching it thinking, he talked a whole lot about being, his life in Hollywood, being rich, being famous, and his celebrity friends. I felt like he did a whole 30-minute piece on Michael Jackson. So I'm like, I can't relate to that. I ain't never kicked it with Prince and Michael Jackson. Sorry. But, that's just me. That's just me. Somebody said, I saw Dolomite. He played Dolomite. And he played that role well. But that was such an over-the-top silly movie that his over-the-top silliness worked because that was what the movie was. It was Dolomite. You know what I'm saying? And so he was, that whole character and the making of that all over-the-top ridiculous movie called for a lot of over-the-top acting from Eddie Murphy. So yeah, for that, it worked. Now, if he did more extremely over-the-top ridiculous movies, then yeah, I don't know that I want to see him do what he about to do with Beverly Hills Cop 4. I don't know that I want to see this. I don't know that I want to see this. Because the thing that made Beverly Hills Cop good, in my opinion, was he played just a straight up kind of streetwise cop. You think Eddie Murphy can pull off being a straight up streetwise person now? I don't think he can. I don't think he can. Shahara says, I love Eddie and enjoy what he's recently done, but I can see that his heart isn't really in it anymore. I get that. Don't like the thought of it, but I get that. All right. A lot of y'all like that super over the top nonsense. I don't be understanding y'all though. I don't be understanding y'all. I'm sorry, Janice. I said I don't be understanding y'all. And I know Janice is cringing like that is not proper English. I'm sorry, Janice. I'm sorry. Um, let me see. Preston says, I don't know, because that Metro movie wasn't it. What Metro movie? He needs to stick to being funny, but he's not the same Eddie from the 80s. All right. Eddie Murphy did a good job playing all the Clumps family members, but he did put other men and women out of a job. Again, he played the Clumps. Each and every Clump was over the top ridiculous. Each and every character that he played was over the top ridiculous. They had to be in order to distinguish, those characters. So his acting is super over the top ridiculous. I don't know, because when Dave Chappelle and Charlie Murphy talk about kicking it with Prince and Rick James, it's pretty funny. Yeah, but that's not a whole comedy special. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between where you're like, I'm going to come out and I'm going to tell you this crazy story about something that happened with me and a celebrity, as opposed to I'm trying to create a comedy special around all of my interactions with being rich and hanging around celebrities. LaDonna says there's a 4. Yeah, there's supposed to be a Beverly Hills Cop 4 coming out. Yeah. I saw pictures floating around of Eddie Murphy in the Detroit, is it Lions jacket? Yeah, hold on, let me see. Photo from the set of Beverly Hills Cop 4. You got Eddie with his Detroit Lions jacket on. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Eddie on the set of Beverly Hills Cop 4. Yep. I don't make this stuff up. Most of the times I don't. Oh, hold on. Let me say this with regard to me making stuff up. I might have made something up because I looked for that story again for about an hour and couldn't find it. So maybe about Deion Sanders, maybe someone misrepresented what Deion Sanders said and then took the article down, and the article that I read was not accurate, or maybe it was satire or something like that. So I wanted to say that because I'm one of those people who, when I get something wrong, I want to say I got it wrong, and apparently I got that wrong. But the article that I read was Deion saying, image and licensing things ain't gonna get these kids here. We need the boosters to step up and kind of do something and be prepared to offer these kids something additional and guaranteed when they get here. And apparently that was not what he was saying at all. So when I'm wrong, I like to say I'm wrong, because I try to have integrity every once in a while. Let's see. He was good in the one with Nia Long. I don't know what you're talking about. And what Metro movie are y'all talking about? I don't know what Metro movie you're talking about. And OMG, I love that Metro movie. I used to watch it all the time. It didn't get the push it needed. I've never heard of it. Metro. He played a cop. Came out in the 90s. It was his first serious role, I believe. Okay. Never heard of it. I might go look it up. Daryl say, Eddie standing looking like he not into it. Yeah, he do look like he not into it. He does. Sorry, Jens. He does look like he's not into it. It look like I'm here to get the check. Is it? Come on, just can we do the scene? Get this over with. Give me my check. You know what I'm saying? Give me the other half of my money or whatever. And that's the look he got. Like, dang, I'm tired of this. So I'm not looking forward to it either. Just like he looked like he not looking forward to whatever they about to tell him to do. That's how I feel. But okay, so I guess we don't care about George Santos. All right. Hey, I'm all right with that. I didn't really care. I do think it's funny. You know, these some of my Republican friends. Sierra says, I said Santos was a bad chick. That's terrible. That is terrible. Hold on, I'm scrolling. Oh, but there is a story about Deion Sanders. Oh, Ronald says, why don't you and Ivy collaborate, do a show? Who is Ivy? Deion Sanders. He's losing players. And I want to know from some of y'all, do y'all think that the shine, the luster is gone? Do y'all think that the luster is gone? Because he's losing some of his players. And now he's got to go into the transfer portal and try to get some players. And, you know, they say, again, this is what they say of stories that I'm reading, that he might have issues. At least they're having issues with recruiting. Let me say this. I hope he has an amazing recruiting class. And I hope, because when I said I hope he go undefeated, everybody got mad at me. Even though I was very serious. I thought it would have. Don't you think right now it would be an amazing story if Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes was one of the 4 teams in the college football playoffs in his first season? And everybody got mad at me when I suggested that I'm hoping that they go undefeated and win the national title. People literally got angry with me. Oh, you trying to be funny? You're such a hater. I'm not a hater. Well, I mean, I am, but I wasn't hating when I said that. They got mad. My bad. The guy that came on before Lincoln, can't remember his name. My bad. I'm not sure who you're talking about. But I don't know. I hope he does well. I hope he does well. And yes, they are switching to the Big 12 because what the Pac-12 is basically not going to exist anymore. So they are switching to the Big 12, and it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I hope he does well. Sammy says they're changing conferences. It'll bode well for them. That's what I was referring to when I talked about him moving to the Big 12. LaDonna says, Rush Par. I'm sure you mean Russ. It's two S's. R-U-S-S. Russ Par. And Ronald says, I'm talking about Nathan Ivey. Again, I don't know who that is. Okay, I know who you're referring to, but that's not his name. Number one. And number two, he's not really a man of integrity. So no, I wouldn't want to link up with him and do no collab with him. Because he's not a man of integrity. And pretty much that's that. Like he's not. No, thank you. Now, don't get me wrong. I always thought he was a good talk show host, but he's not a man of integrity. So no, I wouldn't want to do no sort of collaboration with him. I would do a collaboration with Lincoln Ware, with Terrence Howard, with Raven Mundy, of course, with Wyatt. I really can't think of many other people that I wouldn't, but with him, no, I wouldn't want to, and I wouldn't. So that's that. Y'all all like, whoa and wow, and all that kind of stuff. But come on, we done talked about this before. Every so often somebody brings this up, and we've talked about this. The man flat out told lies about me. Like me, if you come to me and you say, hey, I heard Lincoln Ware got you fired, I would, before I run around telling everybody that Lincoln Ware got me fired, at the very least, I would go to Lincoln Ware and say, hey, Lincoln, I'm hearing these stories that you got me fired. And at least give Lincoln an opportunity to say, that's not true. This is what happened. Or, yeah, it's true. This is what happened. I wouldn't just run with a story not knowing, And he ran with a story that I did some bad stuff to Jerry Tolliver that got Jerry Tolliver fired. And he ran around telling people who I knew, behind my back, but he wouldn't say things to me face to face, man to man. He's like 2 feet taller than me almost. So it would have been hard for him to say it face to face. But man to man, he wouldn't say things to me man to man. And to me, when you lie on somebody and you lie behind their back and you will not talk to them face to face when they approach you in a nice, calm, reasonable manner, you have no integrity. So, yeah, he has no integrity as far as I'm concerned. So, and again, I always thought he was a good talk show host. Always thought that. And I'm not one of those who will say, like if you are good at what you do, like if he can run really fast, but I don't like him, I ain't gonna be like, and he's slow too. Like, no, he fast. He a piece of ass, but he fast, So I don't take nothing away from his ability as a talk show host. I always thought he was good and engaging and all of that kind of stuff. But as a person, as a man, as far as I'm concerned, he has no integrity. Well, hold on, let me take that back. I think he might have some integrity. Because one thing I always liked about him was how much, he seemed to care about his family and his kids and all of that kind of stuff. So that I always can appreciate. So that's some integrity. But he lacks in some areas of integrity. And I wouldn't necessarily trust being around him because he does lack in areas of integrity. Um, Daryl says, "Damn, I'm sorry to hear you two are not getting along." How many times do y'all not be paying attention? Like, I'm saying I'm not here to be, negative towards people. So no, I don't mention it every day. And I don't have beef with him in the sense that if I saw him, I thought we might come to blows or nothing like that. Don't you know people who you look at and you like, you can't trust that guy. You might not say it to anybody, but like, I can't trust that guy, or I can't trust her, or something like that. This person went around spreading lies about me, so I don't really deal with them no more. If I saw him, I wouldn't, we're not going to fight. We're not going to argue. We're not going to do any of that kind of stuff. But this person, I don't mess with him or her because of some things that he has said or done. Come on. I think a whole lot of people have people like that. Jason say, I still like hearing over and over. So yeah, it ain't no active beef or nothing like that. At least not on my part. I really don't even think about it until somebody bring it up. And then I'd be like, no, thank you. Anthony says, I really think that if all you brothers got together, y'all would be a powerful force to be reckoned with. And again, I'm not taking nothing away from him. I'm not saying that he's a bad talk show host or, like a horrible human being. I'm saying, for me, what he did was dirty, lacked integrity, sneaky, underhanded, and cowardly. But that was just on that one piece. But that was enough for me to say, nah, I'm cool on that. Key! Key? Key! I hear she's playing party all the time. It doesn't sound amazing via telephone. Key! I don't want to hang up, Key, but come on, we got to talk. At some point, you got to talk to me, Key. Key! 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 Going once. Key!
Oh, I'm sorry, Emanuel. I thought you wanted to hear party all the time.
No. If I wanted to hear anything off of that particular project, it would be How Could It Be? I always liked that song.
You want to hear the slow song?
I don't want to hear any of it because they'll boot me off of Facebook and YouTube and all of that stuff.
I hope they don't boot you off. Don't boot him off. It was my fault, child. Don't boot him off. Don't boot him off. Don't fire him.
I need to pull a Wyatt and then go ahead and get the rights to all of the music so that I can play music. I just haven't felt like it yet. Because one of these days I'm gonna bring back my theme song. But
okay. What was your theme song?
My theme song is I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on the name. Black Men United. I'm drawing a blank on the name. You will know. Thank you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You will know. That was my theme song. I could see the video and everything.
Was. Yeah, you was playing that on when you was on the buzz.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I ain't want to just kind of say hey and get you real quick. I thought I got to get him. I got to play the party all the time for him.
I didn't think it was a horrible project.
No, I liked him and Rick James. They did their thing for what it was because he a comedian too, so you couldn't take him too seriously, but he didn't sound like bad. And then
No,
they
no,
have
no.
like a catchy hook and all of that other stuff.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, so what's new with you, Emmanuel? You talking about
Nothing.
today?
Nothing. I enjoyed myself for the weekend. Oh, let me tell you, Thursday and Friday, I was exceptionally busy. I had so much that I had to do. And then Saturday went to this gala with Mrs. Livingston. I love it when she gets the opportunity to get all fancy dressed up and all that kind of stuff because she's sexy as hell. And
All
I
right,
like to
all
see her,
right.
all sexy and all of that kind of stuff. And then she hosted the event and it was, a wonderful thing. She did an amazing job. But yeah, I had a busy weekend. Of course, Sunday I went to church and was in church, I do 2 services on Sunday. And today went to work and came home and now I'm here. So
Oh,
it
okay.
just keep going. It keep going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 'cause I was looking for you. I'm like, where is Emmanuel at? He been gone too long.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel, I know you so busy in your schedule, but you know how you be having some of the hilarious shows and callers and stuff. If by chance on some of them videos, could you type in, like, for example, when Twin called with the red skin potato salad, could you like put that in the comments? Because I be going back and rewatching this stuff to be cracking myself up. I'm like, oh man, if only a man you could put that in the title, because some of these videos I
Key,
don't be knowing which is which.
Key, are
Yeah.
you a member of the Facebook
No,
group?
I'm your YouTube buddy. So I be sorry
Uh,
when you be sending them messages and don't be putting messages in your community posts on
so
YouTube.
you're not on Facebook at all?
I'm on there, but I don't check it. Like, you know how a long time ago you had to make a profile in order to reach out to people? That was like 2002 or 3 or whatever. So I'm
Yeah,
on there, but I don't know my password. I don't know none of that stuff. The only
I
time I can
understand.
get in there is like if they send me an email, and then it'll let me log in through the email.
Well, Key, here's what I'm thinking about doing. Just
What
because
you
you
thinking?
mentioned it, and I just started thinking about it when you mentioned it. Maybe I'll start posting, kind of what Brent does on his Friends of the Buzz
And I wish
page.
I could see that.
You could just
You said it's on Facebook
if you
though.
just reset your password on Facebook,
I
and you could
know,
just
but
log on.
face.
Look, he got clips from way back in the
I
day.
know when people were saying like from the OG callers, but I can't do Facebook. It's too much of telling your business that
But you
ain't
don't have to.
true and
But Key,
all this
here's what.
other
But here's.
yin
But
yang.
Key, here's what you have to understand. You could log on, join the group, and when you go to Facebook, you don't have to read all of those posts, and you don't have to post anything. You can just go look at what you want to look at. There's no rule
Girl,
that says if you're on Facebook, you got to tell your business.
Why Daryl Carpenter said I don't want people to know what I look like. People know what I look like, Daryl Carpenter. It's just I don't be on all the petty, telling all your business ain't true, talking about what your baby daddy didn't do,
You don't have to
showing
do
me
that.
what your meal was, and
But
you
you don't.
don't like all that
Yeah, you
no
don't.
nonsense.
Yeah, you don't
I'm
have to.
goofy.
You don't have
I'm
to do.
silly. I like to laugh.
You don't have to. But that's just like I said. You don't have to do any of that. You
I
can just
know Daryl Carpenter talking about. I want people to know what she look like.
you can just go in and do the part that you want to do.
Oh, okay. We'll see, Emmanuel. But why you can't help us YouTube people out too? I'm not
I,
the only one
well,
that's
that's
one of
what I
your
said.
YouTube people.
I'm now that you bring it up, I'm thinking, it would be simple for me to go in, download the video, pull off a clip,
Right.
and
See,
put it
Shannon
up
C
there.
say stop playing your YouTube subbies. Yeah, tell them, Shannon. You see Shannon comment. Stop
I,
playing your YouTube
I
subbies.
see,
Don't
I
be
see,
doing us like
Shannon.
that.
I'm saying, I'm thinking about it now that you done brought it up.
Right. You want us to switch over to Facebook to compensate your Facebook people. Now, have you said the same thing to your Facebook people? Have you told them to go over to YouTube and support your YouTube?
I've told everybody to go everywhere. I think
Okay,
y'all
well, I
should
don't
all
know
be
how
on
to do the
Twitch.
Twitch. I
Y'all
don't
should
know how
all
to
be
do the
on
Twitch.
Twitch watching me.
I know I don't know how to do the Twitch.
What you
Why Daryl say I'm capping? I ain't capping, Daryl. But some of these people is some weirdos or whatever. And if I say what my page name is, the stalker that Emanuel got, be all over there jaying off to my picture and stuff. I ain't got time for that.
Well,
And,
why? Hold
and
on.
whoever the
But
Jack
Key,
would be all over
Key,
there. I ain't got time for that, Daryl.
Key,
Yeah.
how would it hurt you if he jaying off to your picture?
Because it's just
But you don't know it. It don't hurt you. It ain't like none of it get on you.
Just the thought of it from these
It
comments they
don't.
be
Don't think about it.
Nope, I don't want them over there. Even if I ain't been over there and I don't know how
Just
long.
don't
Like
think
I said,
about
I'll
it.
message. Remember I told you a while back I messaged you or whatever, and you can see it, and then you can let them know. David Harry, you stop it, and Daryl Carpenter, you stop it.
Oh.
No.
All right.
So
I guess I don't.
Tell them they know how they is in them comments. They'll be over there like some stalkers. So you know how, like, remember that one time Ross Freeman was the only one all in your comments about 50 million times.
That's
It'll
true.
Be 50 million missed messages on Messenger. I ain't got time for that.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, that's all I wanted. I was just calling to mess with y'all to give y'all a good laugh or whatever. And everybody say I laugh. Now, can y'all tell me who my laugh sound like? Somebody used to tell me I laugh like something. My laugh sound like something.
I don't
What you
know.
think, Emmanuel?
I don't know. I just sound like you.
Oh, okay. It sound like me. What y'all think in the chat? Let me see what they say real quick. You laughing at me, man?
No, I'm laughing at Preston. Preston, look. Key say she's so fine that if she put her pictures up, you gonna be jaying off, and she don't want that.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Because they be up here going Google Gaga and just off my voice. You know what I mean? I could look hideous. They don't even know, but they still Google and Gaga telling us the way I sound and CK and how he be talking stuff, and then they acting all perverted in the chat. So, like I say, it don't even matter.
All right.
They don't care.
All right.
What this I'm calling right now? Who calling in? CK or is that Miss LaDonna?
You do kind of sound like, if I recall, there is a Hanna-Barbera character.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember his laugh. I want to say his laugh was more like, but I can't.
Oh, not that one. No, they say I laugh like Scooby-Doo.
Okay, I can kind of hear that. I can kind of hear that.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Okay, somebody else said they're going to call in, so I'm going to go ahead and get out the phone and let them call in. What is it? No, Jason Dockery. Nope. Scooby-Doo. All right, everybody. Y'all like, subscribe, thumbs up the chat. And man, you don't forget you're gonna put like titles in the chat when people call and be, have some good funny stuff. Cause like I say, people be wanting to go back and listen to that stuff, or if somebody ain't heard it or whatever, you could be like, gotta hear convo with the redskin potato salad twin.
All
Hilarious.
right.
You know what I mean? Because
I
I be
do.
wanting to go back, but then I can't find which one they is. I'm like, oh man, if he only label them.
Okay, I'll work on it.
All right. Okay, everybody. Y'all have a good one. I appreciate y'all, everybody.
Key, you have a wonderful evening.
Okay, go to Google.
All right. That was Key. Key say she don't want y'all jaying off to her picture. First, you don't know that it's actually happening. You don't know that it's happening. Like I said, it ain't like none of the stuff get on you. You can't, you know what I'm saying, get pregnant, get no disease or nothing like that. Why do you care if somebody jay off to your picture? And while I say that, I kind of care. I understand what she's saying. I guess it's different for men and women. It's different for men and women. But she don't want y'all jaying off to her picture. Oh, that is funny. All right, y'all. I don't really have much else I don't really have much else. That's not being a hypocrite. That's not being a hypocrite. It's different. Some stuff is different for men and women because we're different, people. We have our differences. Am I watching the game tonight? No, I'm not. I'll probably be watching wrestling tonight, and I might be flipping between. There's this show I watch now called 30 Coins. 30 Coins on Max. It's an HBO Europe show. Subtitles, they speak in Spanish. But I might be switching between those because that comes on, it debuts on Max at 10 o'clock on Monday nights. So, I might watch that. But I definitely won't be watching the football game, the NFL contest. Not watching the NFL. Until either Colin Kaepernick get a legit shot at being on the NFL team, or until they get a majority owner who is black. Not Venus and Serena, some minority owner, not George Lucas's wife, but a majority owner who is black. That's when I'll come back. Brent, I never saw Squid Games, period. Mrs. Livingston watched it, but I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. Now, there is another show that they keep saying is coming back. I really need to check. They keep saying that it's coming back, but I'm Hellbound. Did anybody watch Hellbound? It's a show on Netflix, and it's a pretty daggone good show. Anybody ever heard of Hellbound? I'm waiting for a couple people to answer. Anybody ever heard of Hellbound? It was a show on Netflix. Hold on, let me see. LaDonna says, I remember the name. That's not the trailer that I want. Hold on. Is this it? What are y'all doing? Stop. That's not the one I'm looking for either. Hold on, I'm trying to find this trailer. I can't find it. But it's an Asian movie with horrible CGI effects. It is an Asian movie. It is an Asian movie. The effects wasn't that bad. I thought the effects was actually pretty decent. Hold on, is this it? Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm going to show y'all the trailer. And then I got to go.
Firstly, an angel appears to prophecy. The angel says the name of the recipient. Firstly, an angel appears to prophecy. The angel says the name of the recipient first. They are then told when they will die and that they are bound to go to hell. When the time comes, the executors of hell are going to fulfill the prophecy.
It's a good trailer. It's a good trailer. And it ended up being a decent movie. It ended up being a decent series. It ended up being a decent series. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it ended up being decent. And they got a season 2 coming out, apparently. But some people it's for, some people it's not. I don't make no money off of it. So I ain't pushing you to watch it. I just thought it was decent. I'm always looking for interesting stuff to watch. So when I've seen something interesting, I try to give people that interesting thing. And if you don't want to watch it, you didn't hurt my feelings. Not even a little bit. Obliterated. I think I saw that. Is that maybe I'm thinking about something else. Is that the movie where they're like the I'm going to say like the CIA and they're the only people who can save the world or something like that, Daryl? He asked me if I've seen Obliterated. I haven't is the answer to the question, but I'll go look at it. I might have seen the preview of it, but I might be thinking of something else. But I will check it out. I'll check out the preview, maybe watch an episode or two. I give them typically 3 episodes to get me. If you don't have me in really, if I'm turned off on the first episode, that's it. If I'm not totally turned off, I'll give episode number 2 a chance. But you really got to be taking me somewhere. And if by episode 3, I'm not 100% clear on what's going on, I'm out. I wish your series the best, but it ain't for me. So that's just the way I do when I'm doing my movie watching and all that kind of stuff. They wasn't apes. They wasn't apes. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. It don't take no money out of my pocket if you don't watch it. It don't take no money out of my pocket if you don't watch it. All right, y'all. I got to get ready to get out of here. Got a few things I have to do. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I hope everyone has an amazing rest of your day. If you are out and about, it's 5 o'clock. It's almost dark out there. If you are out and about dealing with people, relax. Oh, I'm sorry. At the event, I did want to mention this real quick. At the event, it was a nice gala. I don't exactly know how you pronounce it. Okay, I'm sorry. Nate saying something about Wyatt. Well, we laying off Wyatt today for a minute. His mom passed away. And we sending our prayers and all of that kind of stuff Wyatt's way. And don't forget to do that. Like, don't just say, oh, I'm sending you prayers. Like, if you pray, like, legitimately, remember him when you pray. Now, if you don't pray, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Send energy or whatever it is you do. But I was at the gala, and there were some problems with some seating. And so they ended up sitting somebody at our table, and one of the ladies said, "Why can't black folks get nothing right?" It was, a gala, a lot of black people. And it bothered me because I've been to black tie galas and stuff where it was white people, and they messed up on seating too. And nobody was saying, "Why can't white people get it right?" They were frustrated, like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe y'all messed up and didn't, y'all done had to move me twice. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this ain't right." But it wasn't, why can't white people get it right? People are not flawless. Stop internalizing all of that stuff. Black people get it right probably as much as white people get it right. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. It bothered me. I figured I would mention it because I want us as people to start being more mindful of the way that we view ourselves. I know we want to hold ourselves to a higher standard, but then don't allow that to diminish us as a people. Mistakes happen, and that's just the way it is. It ain't a black thing, it ain't a white thing. What did the dude from New Jack City say? It's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's a crack thing. I don't know what he said, but it's not a black thing, it's not a white thing, it's a people thing, a human condition. All right, till next time, be the reason somebody smiles. I'm out, y'all. Peace.